the iRacing series being brought more to the forefront of the NASCAR culture, right? We had the Pro Invitational Series. It aired on Fox Sports 1 this past Sunday. It sounds like it will be making its return this weekend at a virtual Texas Motor Speedway. So what were your guys' takeaways of the first iRacing race with Cup Series stars taking a part of it?
I'll go back to the void I said that sports has left. And I think that viewing of the Pro Invitational filled a little bit of that void for folks on Sunday when they were able to see cars on track. And even though it's, a game, a racing game, a video game, it's a pretty good simulation of the real thing. And I know working with the iRacing folks in the past, it's pretty accurate, and just like they were saying on the broadcast. And so it was just fun, and I think it was good for the sport. It was good for the community. It was a very positive experience, and it was fun to see people having fun and not taking themselves too seriously on the broadcast, which was refreshing. But the day before, we also had the NASCAR Heat Pro League series do a $10,000 shootout as well. And so you've got a whole different grouping of gamers. These are just everyday people that have practiced playing video games. And now there's this whole esports movement that's kind of risen over the last couple of years. And so much so that we have a team that participates in the NASCAR Heat Pro League, and very different than iRacing, but it still kind of shows the power of this virtual world that's come to kind of risen up over the last couple of years. And so I thought, both those events were well put on, and iRacing was neat to see because there you had the professionals that you typically would see racing the real cars in live action, to see them, joking around and having fun. And that was cool. It gives people an insight and view to kind of a little more personality who these guys are. And so I thought it was a very positive experience. I'm glad they're going to try it again. And I don't know, Jeremy, what did you think about it?
I agree with that. I think my one takeaway is I wish we had reset buttons at Talladega and Daytona. It'd be great to have 2 resets, pull out of the car and go back on the track without losing spots. That to me seems a little goofy, but I understand why that guy do it, because these guys, not all the drivers were iRacers per se. They're race car drivers, but you got guys in there who were doing it for the first time or who had done it in the past but haven't practiced. And then you got guys who do it all the time, right? Like Ty Majeski races all the time. And you got Denny, who's raced a lot over the last years, and he's got a, estimated, I read $40,000 iRacing rig or simulator, which is just crazy, right? I mean, but it was the part that I enjoyed the most was you had guys who basically had a laptop, pedals, and a wheel, racing guys who had so you had, I'm going to make it up, a $2,000 rig versus a $40,000 rig, racing the same. It's almost like it's the old race what you brought type of mentality, right? And but I like that part of it, and I really enjoyed the resets because I think it's hilarious watching Rex and then said reset, and I'm like, wait, what, these guys are back in the race? How's that working? I guess you get 2 resets, and then you're out, and then you're on a time clock. So I would propose that NASCAR brings that back. We could have used that in Daytona, we could have used that in Las Vegas, and we could have used that in Fontana this year. So those would have been my 3 resets.
There we go.
Just call them in next time. We need one.
Exactly. Yeah,
we're just gonna we'll hand Jeremy a red button in the pits that if something happens, he can just hit a red button and reset it.
Control Alt Delete and just start over fresh type of thing.
That's right. That's right.
I've mentioned before in podcasts that I've always viewed iRacing and the Heat Pro League, the console games, as it's not as easy to go race a car as it is to go shoot hoops to play basketball, right? Or go to a batting cage to play baseball, something like that, right? I think
for you two, it's pretty tough actually.
Listen, man, I had too many.
That was coming.
That was a bad thing to bring up there, Dano.
I had too many tacos. But I think a big part of not only was it cool to see something on TV, right? But it was also, I think, an interesting way to show people like, hey, this product is out there and it's a cool, relatable touch point to NASCAR, right? And iRacing and console gaming is a way to usher in kind of a new generation of fan, right? Getting people who are interested in the technology fields and things of that nature. So it was cool to bring that to the forefront. Again, it's making the best of this new normal that we're finding ourselves in right now.
Well, I would add to that. I mean, you said it. Anyone go out shoot hoops, right? But you can't go shoot hoops with LeBron James,
right?
Right. Whereas you can go race Denny Hamlin and Dale Jr. tonight if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And there's invitations now. I'm not sure that's good, bad, or indifferent, but I think it allows our fans a unique connection point to our drivers that other sports fans can't get ever, or especially right now. I mean, LeBron's not playing. You can't go do a free throw contest or play a game of horse with LeBron James right now. You can go race Denny Hamlin, Dale Jr., whatever it is. Now, not the invitationals, but any given time there are iRacing races going on that are, Dale Jr. says I'm racing tonight, and people just log in and start racing them, right? I mean, so that's it's a unique in this strange time. It allows our fans a chance, to watch them in the invitational races and also compete against them any given time, which is different and unique. And, we all drive cars. So we always say our fans can relate to our drivers because they drive cars day in and day out. They don't drive cars 200 miles an hour, but this allows anybody to race against our drivers and personalities at a given time, which is pretty unique and kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.